Welcome, listeners. I'm your humble host, Joe Williams. Thoughts on business topics of some importance. You're listening to The Radcast. Migration to the unknown. There is a fascinating aspect of nature, especially on how the animal kingdom moves through the world in the form of migration, some over very long distances from the Arctic to the Antarctic, while other species will migrate less than 300 feet down a mountainside. But with all the distances these animals cover, they have a homing beacon that takes them back to the same place and sometimes the exact same tree, nest, or den that they were born in. The flock and herds move with great numbers, all in unison and all following the leader. But there are those among them that take the off-beaten path, the lone wolf, the risk-taker, the rebel of the group. They forge their own path, mostly alone, to make it out in search of fertile grounds, for which they risk death in the form of starvation or as prey to be eaten. Why do they do this? Why risk yourself to terra incognito and disregard the safety in numbers? What they do is vitally important, because without those lone risk takers, the species could perish altogether. By searching out for new pastures, upon discovery, can let the rest of the herd know where to go as a backup in case their usual winter or summer grounds have been jeopardized. The worst case scenario is that the flock end up in a very bad situation and they all perish, but the lone risk taker that is somewhere else can keep the species going, as they didn't get caught up in the devastation of the larger group. Bee colonies work in the same fashion. While each bee in their hives has their assigned and destined task to keep the hive alive and thriving, the worker bees that fly out to the flower beds to collect the pollen and nectar keep returning again and again to the same flower beds, as it is always the source of food. But there are a few bees that do not follow this path as the others. They are in search of other flower beds that are unknown, and they may never even find any. But without these small group of bees flying out in the wonderland without any known path and source of food, the hive can very well collapse if the known flower bed that kept the hive alive suddenly disappears. Same goes in the human realm. Those pioneers, explorers, and entrepreneurs that venture out to the unknown is what has advanced the human civilization to what it is today, with the advancement in technology, standard of living, lifespan, and many other aspects to human life that has generated abundance for many. Although there is nothing wrong with being part of the flock and making sure the bulk of us are working together to keep the hive going, but we also must recognize that there are a few bold ones among us that must be encouraged to step out into the unknown for the sake of themselves and our society.